Do you want me to introduce myself
Sure.
first? Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the more casual session of the morning called A World Without CMT. Get to know us. Jonah and I are in one of our most favorite settings here in the mountains. We both love trees and thought we would just come have, instead of a fireside chat with you, we are here having a mountainside chat with you. So thank you so much for joining us. We're just going to have a little bit of fun this morning. Whoa, how much fun are we having, Jonah?
Well,
Okay.
I'm getting changed into my mountain clothes, Laurel.
Oh, mountain clothes. Okay, well, I don't have
Yes,
any props.
that's okay.
um, but before Jonah introduces himself, I just want, for those of you who I haven't had the pleasure to meet yet, I'm Laurel Richardson. I'm the Director of Community Outreach with the CMTA. And our wonderful colleague Gina Sweeney was going to join us today, and she had a scheduling conflict and is heartbroken to not be here with us. So there she is in spirit. We have added her to our favorite scene, our mountain scene. So I'm going to turn it over to Jonah to introduce himself.
Hello, everyone, and good afternoon. I'm Jonah Berger. I'm the National Youth Programs Manager for the CMTA and the Camp Director for CMTA Camp Footprint. And here in these beautiful mountains with my dear friend Laurel and my good friend Gina, all is well with the world. So it's just a real delight to be with you today.
Well, it's so fun doing this with you. And the reason Jonah and I are having this just casual conversation with you all is so Jonah and I are on the community outreach team. So we get a lot of the phone calls and emails that come into the CMTA. And something that we hear week in and week out from all of our wonderful community members is this: I didn't know you had support groups around the country. I did not know there were centers of excellence. You have a youth program for people with CMT? There's a camp? So we are here to tell a story and to walk you through sort of your lifetime with CMT in relationship to the CMTA. So
If only Laurel, we had a name for this character we're going to tell the story about, something that really embraced, the chutzpah of the CMTA. Maybe Gina. We could use the word Gina.
let's call this character Gina, just for fun. We'll call her Gina. And the theme of this conversation and casual chat with you all is strength and community. And Jonah leads that wholeheartedly in everything that he does. He always talks about the strength in our community. So we just want to kick it off. So say you are a parent and you have a child with CMT. Where do you start? You've given birth to a child with CMT. Maybe they're not symptomatic. Perhaps, let's say in this situation that the child, we'll call her Gina, is symptomatic. Then what? Then what do you do? What you feel, you immediately probably feel alone and scared and nervous, as we all would with CMT, as we do with children. But it's important to know that you have a community of people here from start to finish. So you would reach out to the CMTA, and at that stage in your journey, you would call in the 800 number. Yes, we have an 800 number. You can reach out to us. You would join the CMTA parents group on Facebook so that you can speak to other parents, and you would absolutely want to be seen at a CMTA Center of Excellence so that you are with the doctors who studied neuromuscular disorders in their fellowship. They have been identified as the CMT experts around the country. And so that's a wonderful starting point for you to get the support that you need and to start building your community. And now your kids are like 10 years old and plus, then where should they go, Jonah?
Well, it's funny you should ask, Laurel. They will come over to my branch of the CMTA tree, which is the youth movement, the youth program. We have a tagline for our program, which is youth empowering youth. So the whole point of the adults in the youth program is just to facilitate experiences and opportunities for kids to connect online, in person, because once that happens, then we can get out of the way and the magic takes over. There are in the chat links for you to get registered for the CMTA youth database, which is where you'll put in your information, and that will make sure that you are kept in touch with on all the programs that we're doing on Camp Footprint, on the online Zooms, on the youth newsletter. So if you have a child with CMT, make sure you sign up for the youth database. From 10 to 18 years old, your child can be a part of Camp Footprint. Camp Footprint just celebrated its 7th summer, the triumphant return to in-person. And to say that it is the most magical week of the entire year is the understatement of all time. The absolute power of kids who are used to being the only one in their friends group, some of them in their families, who have a physical challenge are suddenly surrounded by 100 other kids who not only get it, but get it without them having to explain a word of it. They just know they're amongst their tribe and they relax in a way that it's hard to do the rest of the year. And the week is magic. So I'm biased because I helped to direct Camp Footprint, but I'm telling you, it is amazing. Do not miss the opportunity as soon as your child turns 10. We have online Zoom Hangouts every 3 months where we get a group of youth together on different topics and just hang out, get to know each other, get a little taste of that camp vibe in the off season. There is our youth council who helps me to organize and to run the youth movement and the youth programming. Our big event is coming up on October 22nd, Saturday night. It is our 2nd annual Dance for CMT. Youth from around the country and around the world are going to be coming online to Zoom to dance together and to raise funds for the CMTA. So that's super exciting. You can get registered for that using the link in the chat as well. And yeah, the biggest thing, as we were saying before, connection to community, is that at 10 to 18 years old, as we all know, is a profound development change, a profound identity shift from little kid to, who you're going to be. And that's the time where we want to help you get connected to your community, to make that process not only easier, but better, so that you're connected and that other kids who get it are by your side.
And I think that I was just going to throw in, Jonah, I think it's really important to note so we hear parents say all the time, oh my gosh, my child would never go to camp, or, oh, my child's so shy, they don't know how to meet new people. So a couple things as a parent who made their kids go to camp, give a little bit of encouragement, give a gentle nudge. I promise them it's the time of their life. But also, if you want to get a feel for what the youth vibe is at the CMTA, you can follow CMTA Youth on Instagram if your child is on social media, and they can just get that feel for what this community is like without jumping in with both feet yet. So it really, there's such wonderful camaraderie. You could reach out to any youth council member, DM them on Instagram, and they will get back to you and answer your questions, and you feel connected. And it's really special because they get it. I mean,
I get calls from or contacted from parents all the time who are saying that very thing. My child is super shy, especially as a result of their CMT. My child is not the kind of kid who's about going to camp with a bunch of other kids. I always say the exact same thing. Get them there. The rest happens on its own. And I'm telling you, 99% of the kids whose parents were sure they would not be okay at camp are thriving and come home changed from 1 week as part of their own tribe. So absolutely. I'm also happy to connect families to other families of kids who are veterans in our youth program, who are similar age to your youth, just to give them a kind of personal contact who's not an adult telling them about the youth program, but another youth. So holler at me anytime.
Yeah. And as someone who pretended that they didn't have CMT for, I don't know, 35 years, I am so moved by the youth in our community talking about their CMT because I think it's so much healthier and
Yeah.
such a better route to take to talk about it earlier. So even if your kids aren't terribly symptomatic, gently introduce them to the youth community because we're here when they need to join, when they're ready to join. Even if it's not today, it might be in 2 months or 2 years or 10 years and we'll be here, but let them
The
know.
the last thing I'll say about the youth before Gina grows into her young adult years is that
Right.
we do have a book, and the link will be up there momentarily, I assure you. But we have a book called Walk a Mile in My Braces, where 75 youth from around the country and around the world wrote in and answered the same 11 questions about their experience in life with CMT. And what came out of it was designed by the youth, was literally scripted by the youth, and is one of the most important and motivational teachers for the youth who are adjusting to their world with CMT. So if you haven't checked that out, whether you have a kid with CMT or not, get yourself a copy.
Well, so what if sweet Gina, she's gone to camp, she's
Ooh.
on CMT Youth Instagram, she's done the youth hangouts. Next year, hopefully, we'll do some youth in person hangouts, which will be really cool. But now she's sort of aged out of that youth, but she doesn't necessarily want to go to a support group meeting. Where does she go, Jonah?
So really, I'm starting to get confused by the use of Gina, Laurel, because Gina's permanent maturity level is kind of at a 16-year-old's pace. So the idea of Gina moving into young adult maturity
I
is
know.
hard for me to get around, but I'm gonna keep rolling with it. Um, what we started this past year, my friends, is called Compass, Navigating Life with CMT as a Young Adult. And Compass is a group, same as the youth program, run by young adults with CMT for young adults with CMT. We have had 2 official monthly meetings. We do it on the last Sunday of every month. Each month has a different topic. You can go onto our website, which the link is up there as well, or will be in a moment in the chat. And you can see the entire next year laid out with topics, with registration links. You have to sign up each month. And there's also a general sign up for the Compass groups, so that same thing, you'll get all of the updates and you'll get all of the reminders for when we're going to have programming. But this is a brand new and just started, but growing every month way to keep that consistency, that continuum of community throughout your life from ages 19 to 30 years old.
And I think really one of the driving factors here for creating this group is because we heard from so many community members, whether it was the community member themselves as a young adult or parents, saying, there's nothing for people in their 20s. What about all the people with CMT in their 20s?
Right.
So, a little tough love here. We listened and we built this program and we built this group for you. So, please join us. Come check it out. Even if the topic isn't of great interest to you that month, meeting others in your age range with CMT is invaluable. So please join us. It's a really special group, and they're building and they're looking for insight and feedback. And so it's a wonderful place to talk with others in that peer group. So it's really awesome.
So
Gina's going to do great. Gina's going to do great in there.
Gina
She might
is going to
take
do
over the
great.
group.
She might. She might, although this is the quietest I've ever heard Gina in my entire
I
life.
know. And I'm wondering, well, she's not even here to defend herself. So this is really fun.
Let's just enjoy the moment, Laurel, is what we really ought to do. So, Laurel, what happens then when Gina becomes 31 years old, is entering full-blown adulthood, not young adulthood? What can she look forward to in the future insofar as resources to connect to others with CMT?
That is an excellent question. And not only is she entering into full adulthood, she's probably more symptomatic with her CMT, right?
Mm.
So getting into your 30s and maybe you can't ignore it anymore. And so I think it's really important to take a well-rounded approach. And of course, it's up to the person, but being in communication with the CMTA is your number one starting point at this point. So you want to make sure you're signed up for e-news so that you can hear all the latest and greatest coming out, whether it's in the area of STAR research or if it's events or education meetings or summits like this. So first and foremost, please sign up for e-news so that you're in the know. And again, very important to be in the care or a patient of a center of excellence so that you make sure that you're building that natural history with a center of excellence, and also so that you hear about study opportunities. So this age range, Jonah, the 30s to 40s, we need you. We need you to be involved in clinical studies, because that is how we move closer. We build that pathway to clinical trials, right? And we can't do that without the natural history studies and the biomarker outcomes.
Biomarkers. There you go.
If you can't say it, you can't be involved. No, I'm kidding. So, really keep an ear to about research, because that's incredibly important, especially for those 30, 40-year-olds. We need you in the studies. So that's one way. And you might be wanting to learn more about your CMT and research. So we have monthly education meetings virtually. We've learned how successful it is for us to gather people from around the country and around the world virtually. So being here virtually is so much easier. We bring in amazing CMT experts, whether they're from our CMTA advisory board, from our scientific advisory board, from a center of excellence, and we provide incredible monthly education meetings. So that's really important. And I think one of the biggest ways that you can truly feel connected to others with CMT is by joining a branch near you. And we don't yet have branches in every single city around the country, but we have over 70 around the country, and 2 in Canada and 1 in Mexico. And so if you think, you know what, I need a group like this in my city, then call me and I will help you build a branch in your city. And we do everything from start to finish. So we have a blueprint in place for building and running a branch, and we just need a wonderful leader who wants to raise their hand to do that volunteer work. So joining a branch brings tremendous connection. Yes, it is a support and education group, but you will find that the branches are not people sitting around feeling sorry for themselves. It's people sharing resources and lifting each other up, and having just that one place to go where they truly understand what your day might look like from day to day. So it's really exciting, and I think that's a great place to stay connected. And then go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to say, and our website is so amazing, cmtausa.org, and there are 5 tabs at the top, and the 2 most important tabs for this session of today is Living with CMT and is Get Connected. Those are both things that are going to bring you worlds of resources around community and getting connected to others. So if you take nothing else away, make sure that you just go to our website, click on Living with CMT, and also click on Getting Connected.
Yeah, you're right. And it is a very informative website, so take your time with it, but starting with those 2 big tabs at the top, it can be very, very helpful. That's wonderful. And then we continue, throughout your lifespan, which will be a full and busy active life, sharing education and sharing connection opportunities. So that might be at a conference, at a summit. So I think, we're still in planning for 2023, but that we'll do a combination of in-person gatherings around the country as well as virtual connections. So figure out what's right for you. We're trying to accommodate as many people as possible because we want to share this information with you and we want you to be part of our community. Other ways to do that, as Gina would tell you, if the real Gina Sweeney was here, not the figurative Gina Sweeney.
With the noisy Gina Sweeney, not the quiet.
The loud, fun, yes, energetic correct. Gina Sweeney would tell you, find your cause, right? So we want CMT to be your cause, but find that event. What do you want to do to raise awareness, to raise funds for STAR research? Is that a walk for CMT? Is that a cycle for CMT? Do you want to do your own personal fundraiser? Maybe it's a wine and chocolate night. Maybe it's a derby party. So we have all these amazing opportunities, and we have an entire team to support you through those fundraising efforts. So I think our biggest point here today is there is something for everyone at the CMTA, and we invite you to be part of our family. I'm going to see if there's any questions in the chat, Jonah, but you keep
Yeah,
talking.
no, I would say that too. I was thinking summatively, what are the overarching themes? And I would say the biggest one, Laurel touched on before, but I'm going to repeat it because I think it's really, really key, is that we as an organization respond to the needs. We create resources and opportunities and programming around what we hear are wanted. We cannot get out there and force you to sign up for things, force you to show up to things, to participate, to put yourself out there. That takes a leap of faith. And I think it is you get what you give. If you are watching everything happening from the sidelines, you're not going to feel the community that we're talking about to the level that you could. As soon as you participate in any way, you will be amazed at how loving, how giving, how supportive this community can be to one another. But I can't stress it enough because I used to stay far away from it. Like Laurel, I didn't want to own that I had CMT. The more I have owned it, the more I have embraced it, and the more I've gotten involved in the CMTA, I never went back. And now I work full time for the CMTA. This whole thing started because of that feeling of community. That's what drew me in, and that's what kept me. So don't miss out on the opportunities. Trust that once you jump in, you're going to feel a community connection unlike anything you've experienced before. I promise you that.
Absolutely. And it takes all of us. I mean, we are a grassroots organization truly empowered by our community and volunteer run. You know, we have this amazing board of directors who supports our efforts and all of our, you know, wild and amazing and ambitious ideas, and this amazing staff and our wonderful CEO, Amy Gray. And we are truly a family trying to move this forward as we get closer and closer to drug development and treatment. So it's a really exciting time in research, the most exciting time ever in research. And it's a really great time to be part of the CMTA. So we just wanted to drop in, tell you a little bit about the CMTA and give you a glimpse into our team so that you can get to know us. And I'm sure we've missed a couple of things. So reach out to me or to Jonah or to Gina or the rest of the staff anytime. We are truly a team, so we're all here to support you. And what we're going to do next is we are going to head to lunch. And by lunch, I mean run as fast as your little CMT legs will take you, grab a snack or a bite to eat or a big sandwich, and come meet us in the lounge. You will see some tables that are labeled specifically by topic and some that are just community tables, general tables. So come back and join a table and say hello and introduce yourself to a stranger, or look for staff members and come say hello to us. And then around 1:40, we're going to do some stretching and yoga. This is all Eastern time, guys. Sorry, we have to stick with one time zone. And then at 2:00, we will start the amazing STAR research section of the day. So it's flying by. We're so glad to have you with us, and we will see you in the community tables at lunch. Gina, are you coming with us? Yes, I wouldn't miss it.
Let's go for a hike, Laurel, shall we?
We shall. See you in there. Thanks, Jonah.
Thank you, Laurel.